Hi everyone, Nicol here. Just wanted to talk to you today about dieting and kind of why diets will just make you fat and unhealthy. I read a BBC report today on the BBC News Channel website. It reported that 37% of UK women and 10% of UK men would identify that they're on a diet most of the time. That means that approximately 13 million people in the UK are permanently on a diet. But if so many people are dieting, why is it then that in the same article it states that approximately 50% of the UK are actually overweight? Well, I would propose that the answer is simple. Dieting doesn't work. I looked up the definition of diet and it came up as to limit the food and or drink which you take, especially to lose weight. And for me, that definition, not only does it describe what a diet is, but it actually helps to identify why dieting doesn't work. The focus on limit or restricting food intake, I think, is a really bad thing. And it's kind of created this weird mentality that less is best, that by eating less food you will lose more weight. But that really doesn't seem to hold true, does it? Just a couple of weeks ago, one of my Facebook friends proudly posted that she had only eaten 600 calories in a whole day. I mean, man, I normally eat that, I think, for a breakfast. So, 600 calories in a day, that's nothing. Secondly, the diet industry. Not only does it focus on limiting calories, but it really focuses just on weight rather than fat. If I ask a client, why have you come to see me? The majority of people will say that they've come for weight loss. But if I ask them, well, do you want to weigh less or be less fat? Oftentimes people kind of get a little bit stuck. They don't really appreciate that there is a difference between weighing less and being less fat. If you're kind of just completely obsessed with wanting to weigh less, we'll just cut an arm off. That's, instant pounds lost. The danger as well with this kind of weight obsession is that lots of people kind of become scales obsessed. And we all know people, and you may even be one yourself, that will weigh themselves every single day and will kind of hoo and ha about being up or down by a pound on a daily basis. I mean, man, I know of women that have got some of the most bizarre weighing habits, that they'll only weigh themselves with their hair is dry because the water in their hair will add weight to them. They must have been for a wee. They can't have eaten any breakfast, and they must be naked. Also, that when they stand on the scales, the numbers are as small as possible. It's just crazy, isn't it, really? But you will have been, I'm sure, on a diet in the past, or you will know of someone who's been on a diet and seen them lose weight. Now, obviously, a calorie restrictive diet will cause you to lose weight. Let me explain what happens. Your body requires a certain number of calories every day simply to remain as it is. For your heart to beat, your brain to function, and to sustain the amount of muscle tissue that you have. The amount of energy that your body then burns over the course of a day, we kind of regard as your metabolism. When you go on let's call it a crash diet, so you severely restrict your calorie intake, often the number of calories that you're then consuming is way, way, way below the number of calories that your body actually needs to sustain itself over the course of a day. Now, over a period of time of not receiving enough calories, your body actually, unbeknownst to you, will go into a state of famine. Now, once that occurs, your body actually starts to hold on to as much body fat as it can, because fat's a really valuable energy source. And instead of what you would like to think of becoming more toned, your body will actually start to break down muscle tissue, because muscle tissue costs energy. And when your body isn't receiving enough energy, it's going to try and balance the equation by getting rid of the stuff that's costing energy. So your body will actually start to break down muscle tissue. Now, obviously, the kind of confines of a diet, they can often be quite hard. And you'll often be hungry, if not starving. So dieting tends to be in the short term. So let's think. you either give up because you can't stand being so hungry anymore, or you achieve your goals, you go on your holiday, you feel great because you've lost those few pounds, but you come back, and because you've not got another holiday for 6 months, you go back to eating as you were. Now, because you have lost muscle tissue, the amount of energy your body now requires on a daily basis to just remain as it is now less. Does that make sense? Your body doesn't have as much muscle tissue, so it doesn't need as much energy. So, if you now go back to eating as you were before your diet, consuming the same amount of energy that you were, you're now likely, well in fact you will, put on more weight than you had when you started. Because your body's not burning as much energy every day, and yet you're now consuming what you were before, you will gain more weight than you did before you went on your diet. And that's kind of where we get this term yo-yo dieting from. You know, where people's weight just goes up and down because they follow these stupid, ridiculous, faddy diets for short periods of a time, and they lose weight and then they gain it. They'll often gain more, which means, of course, they need to diet again to try and get the weight back down for their next holiday, their next social occasion, their next social event, or whatever it may be. So, dieting and calorie restriction, bad news. What I would rather you consider is this. I believe that being overweight is actually a symptom of being undernourished as opposed to being overfed. Let me explain that. Your body requires nutrients. It requires good energy, and it requires vitamins and minerals and so on to build muscle, for all of the chemical processes and so on to go on within your body. Now, if you eat food that supplies lots of energy, lots of calories, but not enough nutrition, your body can't do anything with the food in which you're eating. And so it really doesn't have anything else to do but store all of this excess energy as fat. This is why things like, let's say, Weight Watchers and stuff, where you kind of can count points and play around with what you can do with your calories. Again, really bad news, because just a client the other week kind of worked out that according to the point system, he could either drink 2 pints of beer or he could have something like 6 vodkas. And so he was drinking 6 vodkas, despite the fact that drinking that amount of alcohol is a bad thing and is going to make him fat anyway. So it's all just a bit mad, isn't it? It's far more important to consider eating good food, good clean food. Lots of vegetables, green vegetables especially, fruit, lean proteins, and some balanced, complex carbohydrates. So no sugary crap, just good, honest food that you have to prepare yourself, that doesn't come out of a packet. Good food that will nourish your body. That BBC report that I referred to, interestingly, the main motivation for people wanting to lose weight was vanity rather than their health. Which would kind of explain, I guess, why so many people will put up in the short term with all of the pains of dieting for that kind of quick fix, but that they're then not bothered if they gain weight and have to do it again. It's all about kind of how they look. I think perhaps if people were more aware of their health, perhaps people would then be more willing to consider finding out more about actually how to achieve weight loss, fat loss I should say more specifically, how to achieve fat loss and to keep that fat off and not enter into this yo-yo diet. So I guess in conclusion I would say, if you're a person who feels that you have fat to lose, please don't go on a diet. Investigate, come and speak to me, search the internet, whatever. But investigate how to change the way you eat in a positive manner that will allow your body to shed the excess fat that you have, because it won't need it anymore. How to shed that fat and how to keep it off throughout your lifetime so that you remain healthy and lean. Okay, remember, there's more important things to consider than simply what you look like. imagine looking amazing but also being brilliantly healthy.